Welcome, everybody, to All About Articulation, where we do a deeper dive into the articulation of some of your favorite action figures while glossing over things like sculpt, paint apps, character history, accessories, because I suck at that, and there are already so many great reviewers on YouTube who do that already, so I don't want to waste your time. Today, we're going to review the Nota Toys, Notaman, not for kids, Notaman figure. He's not a lot of things, but what he is very fun. So this is the action figure body NT. I guess is Nota Toys 02 wide W. W meaning that he's got a bit of wider shoulders than the regular 2 version. So there's 1, 2, and 2W. I think the one figure separates from the 2 is that there's the 2 is thinner with a more articulated neck, and the W, the only difference is that the W is has a bit of a wider frame. Let me move this box out the way, and this is the figure. He comes with a bunch of hands. He comes with a change in feet, so he's got the bare feet on already, and then he comes with like some black shoes, and he comes with this weird boxy Pinocchio head. I don't know why. I don't know who's going to use this. I mean, this figure is basically for customizers and modders. Kind of like if you want to make your own Mezco figure. And this is a good base. He measures, quickly, he measures about 6.5 to the top of this square head. Just under 6.5 inches, if you can see that. So that's a 6.5 line. So he's flat on the ground, knees straight, body straight. He's just at 6.5. Yeah, just at 6.5. Maybe a little shorter, but we'll call him 6.5. 6.5 inches to the top of this square box head. I don't know who's going to use this box head, so I don't know how accurate that measurement. So look, why don't we just go by his shoulders? How about that? The top of his shoulders is, what would you call that? 5 1/4? Yeah, so 5 1/4 to the top of his shoulders. Because I think a lot of people are just going to take this head off and put in their own head, like what I'm about to do. I wanted to make a Bruce Lee figure, and I went out and I bought a Bruce Lee head, 112 head. I got the Game of Death, yellow suit. I got some sneakers that go along with it, and it came out really cool. So I'm gonna put that on at the end and show you at the end of the video. But until then, we're gonna stick with Pinocchio for now. So I guess it's a goof. I guess it's just to give the buyers something to have, to use, and to, I guess, as a placeholder until you get your own head. Unless you are working on a Pinocchio character, then this head is for you. Some quick thoughts about the figure itself. It's fantastic. It's just absolutely fantastic. This is how he scales with some Mezcos here. This is a Spider-Man Mezco, so he stands really well with him. You know, Peter Parker is about 5'10". Spider-Man's about 5'10", so gives you an idea of how tall this character would be. Here's another Mezco figure, the Black Skull Brigade. So that gives you an idea about how tall he is. See what I'm saying? So in terms of height, he scales well. In terms of width and bulk, he's on the thin side. So, for like a skinnier dude, like a Spider-Man, if you want to do a Spider-Man, or if you even bought this figure and you don't like the articulation of this figure, you could totally unstitch this suit, remove this suit off of this base figure, and then put it on him, and it would work just fine. I think it'd probably work even better, because the amount of articulation and the amount of poses that he could hit is phenomenal. Right off the bat, he's got 2 points of articulation in the neck, one in the upper, one in the lower neck, and this is how far down he could look. This is how far up he can look. And he's got 2 butterfly joints, two true butterfly joints. And by that I mean it just goes the entire range of motion for butterfly. It goes all the way back, like that. And he goes all the way forward. And just give you an idea of how forward, with elbows straight, he could cross his arms. With elbows straight, he can cross his arms. Look at that. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. This is how far up his shoulders can go in his T-pose, as if he's sitting in a hot tub. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right. Bicep swivel can go all the way around. We know that. Double jointed elbows. Look at that. That's fantastic. Goes all the way down. Goes all the way down. He's got the ball joint swivel, very typical wrist joints that we see on a lot of imports. Goes all the way around. You know how this goes. So he can do a lot of, and there's nothing hindering the articulation. So when his hand, when his wrist wants to go in a flexion motion, go all the way down, and then you can go extension up. And then likewise, if you want to do the side to side, the adduction motion and the abduction motion up. So he does come with some trigger holding, some trigger hands for guns. It does not come with guns, but if you have extra gun lying around, it'd be perfect. You know what? Let me just show you. Yeah, this is a little bag of stuff that he comes with. Okay, so there's his trigger hand. So if you want to pop this off, pop this on, and let me give you a gun. Do I have a gun lying around here? Quickly. Any guns? Any guns? No, not. Laser. What's this? All right, maybe this will do. I don't know what this is, but there you go. Give you an idea. Can you hear the traffic outside? New York City. Oh God, I gotta move out of here. Anybody ever want to move to New York City? Don't. All right, unless you want to go crazy. All this stupid noise. I've been here my entire life. I still can't stand it. Okay, so yeah, let's give you an idea. What is this? Whose gun is this? Does anybody know? Where did I get this from? I don't even know. But yeah. So there you go. That's what it looks like with the gun. He comes with trigger hands. He comes with weapon holding hands. Yada yada yada. Let me put the fist back on. Okay, ab crunch. All right, the ab crunch to me is one of the most important points of articulation for a figure, because it's obviously central to the entire movement of the figure. If you don't have good ab crunch, if you don't have good ab articulation, mid-torso articulation, then it just makes the figure completely trash. McFarlane Toys. So he's got 2 points of articulation in the waist. One upper, one lower. The upper diaphragm and lower waist. Isolating the lower waist and just the upper articulation. This is how far forward he can crunch. And this is how far back he can extend. And isolating the upper diaphragm. This is how far forward he can crunch, just utilizing the lower waist. And this is how far back he can extend, just utilizing the lower waist. So together, this is how far he can go down. And together, this is how far back he can extend. Just fantastic. It's not, yeah, there you go. I think that's perfect. Any further back, I think it would look weird. He'd look like a cat. So that's perfect. He's got great hips, great hip articulation. No drop down, but not needed, because he can hit pretty much a split, or as close to it. This is how far he can go. The one weakness of this figure is, I would say, the ankles. So you can't really do a good Glen Webb, meaning he can't go really far down, hit a split with his feet, both feet flat on the ground. So that's about. So if his feet were to be flat, I would say that's about as far down as he can go. Not to say that he can't go further down, but it's just that the ankle articulation is so limited that you don't get it. But all right, since we're talking about the ankle, so the ankle, it's just on this sort of double ball joint, as you can see. And there's not much movement there because of the sculpt of the feet, unfortunately. But he does have double jointed. Let's go top down. There is a cut on the upper thigh, giving the illusion of a thigh swivel, but it doesn't swivel too much. It literally just goes this much right there. That and that. See it? That and that. That and that. That. That's it. So for all intents and purposes, there's not much of a thigh swivel. But it's okay, because he can sort of open up his hips a little bit for you yogis out there. He can open up his hips, and that gives good motion. If you watch his toes, you can get that much just by hip movement. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, there's not great thigh swivel, but if you can see from his toes how much movement you get by accessing the hips. You can turn it in, you can turn it out. So it's not bad. It's not bad. There's a lot of compensation for the limited lower body articulation. Double jointed knees, kick his own butt. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. The articulation is great. And by the way, the material feels really solid. It's not made out of cheap hollow plastic. It's just, I don't know what it is, but the plastic they use, it's very high quality. It just feels like it's good. It's quality. It's like there's some heft to it, you know? I can't explain it. But okay, now I'm going to dress him up and show you what I did with this guy. Okay. So here is my DIY, do-it-yourself custom Bruce Lee Game of Death figure. Yeah, I kind of like it. It fills a hole in my collection for a Bruce Lee, so I'm happy with it. The suit I got from eBay. Is a seller on eBay, and I got the sneakers that were slip-ons with the feet, so they're not a separate piece together. It's the foot that you saw before is still on. These shoes are just rubber. It just slides right on. The head I got from a seller also on eBay. So eBay, and together you make a pretty nice Bruce Lee figure. I couldn't afford the Mezco Gomez of Death. That would have been a great body, but that goes for people are selling for like $200. I'm not doing that. So this thing altogether cost me about $80, give or take. The Nota Toys, the base body figure costs about, I wouldn't say $40. This head costs about $40, so that's $80. And then the shoes cost maybe the $20. So altogether maybe $100. I would say $100. These nunchucks just had them lying around from another figure. And yeah, so there you go. This is my Bruce Lee. And you too can have a Bruce Lee too. If you want to know where if you want links to the suit and the shoes and the head, just leave a comment below and I'll link it, maybe in the description. But if you guys don't care, then no point. All right. Hope you had fun watching this. Hope you guys have fun with your action figures. Because remember, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Talk to you guys later. Yeah. That's Bruce Lee, baby.